Oh my. Ah! You can never go wrong with an udon and a creamy sauce and kimchi. Yeah. Hi guys, it's Rose and welcome back to Cheap Lazy Vegan and another mukbang. As you can see, we are doing another cookbang. We're gonna cook together and we're gonna eat together, and I'm so excited because today's menu, I'm gonna be trying to make a creamy kimchi udon. Yes, okay, some of my favorite things in one dish. I'm just gonna get started right away. So for those of you guys that are new, today is another episode of Munching Mondays, which is my mukbang series. On Mondays, I do mukbang videos on this channel. It's always vegan, it's always plant-based, and it's always a great time, okay? Guys, I finally got one of these, like, what do you call this? Burners? What are they called? One of these burner things, okay? Electric burners, electric stove, portable stove. I don't know proper terminology. Apparently, I have this thing right here, very handy. I feel like a mukbanger now. I'm gonna add a little bit of vegan butter. This is by Basil. This is completely vegan and it's delicious and it's convenient and it's pretty affordable, I think. We're actually gonna add 1 tablespoon of that. Okay. So we're gonna heat this up. Hopefully this burner works well. And along with that, I'm actually gonna add in some minced garlic. I already have this like minced garlic. This is my roommate's. They sell this in the Korean supermarket. It's like it's more like ground garlic. Yeah, because I haven't had a chance to mince my own garlic. So we're gonna add quite a bit of that. That's probably like, I don't know, maybe like 2 cloves. It's not even a lot. That's very little. So let's get this all going. Is this working? Come on. Come on. We're just gonna kind of melt the butter. Just let that kind of sizzle a little bit. Okay. In the meantime, let's get the drink started, even though we're not done the cooking process yet. But once again, we've got a grapefruit bubbly. Do I ever drink anything else? One day I'll do like a beer mukbang, but I usually film mukbangs in the morning, and let's be honest, guys, I'm not that much of an alcoholic, okay? Very exciting stuff. Ooh, it's starting to sizzle. Who loves that sizzling sound? All right, so now we're gonna add in 1 tablespoon of flour. And that's gonna create, you guessed it guys, a roux. We're creating a roux once again to thicken up our sauce because we're making a creamy sauce. So I usually add in 1-to-1 ratio of fat. So for those of you that don't know what a roux is, it's basically a mixture of a type of fat, usually oil or like butter, and a flour. And then I usually do 1-to-1 ratio, although I think I may have added a little bit too much flour, but that's okay. All right, so I added in, ooh, it's starting to stick. 1 tablespoon each of flour and butter. Now we're gonna add in about 3/4 cup, I guess, because that's all I have in here, of non-dairy milk. I'm using oat milk. Finally, oat milk is like becoming a thing here. Took a few years. I remember when I was in the UK, oat milk was like starting to become really big. I'm gonna turn this down a little bit. So basically, to create a roux, you add some sort of a fat and then some sort of a flour. You combine those 2 things together, and that's gonna create a base for a thick cream sauce, or you can add it into a soup to thicken up the soup. It's just a great way to like make something creamy without adding cream, essentially. As you can see here, we're thickening up this sauce. Now, normally I would like to use a whisk because I like to get the clumps out, but I forgot to grab a whisk. But I might actually do that because I think I want to add a little bit more non-dairy milk. Be right back again. All right, so I'm gonna add probably in total a cup of the oat milk, approximately. So I want quite a bit of sauce, and you can just whisk it until the clumps are mostly gone. All right, that's the cream sauce. So now we can add things to this to, you know, give it flavor and all that good stuff. What we gonna add? I have a bunch of like old jars of leftover kimchi, of course, because I'm Korean and that's just how we do. So I'm gonna use it, okay? So first, let's see how much kimchi. I think I'm gonna start with adding about half a cup and then we'll see if we need a little bit more. So this is about maybe a little more than half a cup. Let's see, let's add that in. See how that looks. Ooh. So preferably you want to use sour kimchi because fresh kimchi, you want to eat it fresh, okay? A lot of people ask me, oh, what do I do with kimchi once, like, does it go bad? Like, should I throw it out? And I just say, just save it for, you know, stuff like this. When you cook up sour kimchi, it like tastes so good. So that's a great way to use up a kimchi that has been sitting in your fridge for a while. Okay, so I'm gonna say about 3/4 cup of kimchi, actually. 3/4 cup of kimchi. Ooh. And maybe some more kimchi juice. It's all about that kimchi juice, guys. See, I got even more kimchi over here. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Ah! We've added the lovely kimchi. Just give this a little... Ooh! Spicy! We've got some chopped smoked tofu. This is probably about a 1/3 block, or however much you want to eat. Essentially, you can add as much as you want. That's totally up to you how much you want to add. Same with like kimchi and stuff. And we're gonna add just a little bit of gochugaru. This is optional, you don't need to add this, but I have some. And that's gonna add even more spice and kick. We're also gonna add a little bit of vegan crack, which is nutritional yeast. I'm gonna add in maybe a tablespoonish, or however much I want. That's gonna give it a little bit more of that cheesy flavor, I guess. Yum. God, I feel like I should hold this. There we go. Look at that, guys. So now, I probably should have done this separately, but I have my udon. So I probably should have cooked this separately with water. You know what, actually, I'm gonna do that just in case. I don't wanna mess it up, okay? So I'm just gonna turn this off for now. I've got some udon noodles that I'm gonna cook up and then we're gonna throw it in here. All right, see you soon. All right, guys, I cooked up the udon separately. It just took 2 minutes and now it's all cooked. What is happening? Seriously, it's like I live in New York or something, jeez. Anyways, we got this nice sauce, very red, creamy going on. And I'm just gonna dunk it in. And I just got the heat going again, so let's see how long this takes to heat up. And one thing that I forgot to add, I was gonna add a little bit of a sweetener. So sometimes when you cook up kimchi like this, I like to offset with a bit of a sweetener. And I already opened up this like little package of stevia. So I'm just gonna add that. You can also add like, I don't know, sugar, maple syrup, agave, whatever. We're just gonna add some stevia. And then we're just gonna mix it well. Oh my God, it's looking so good. Oh my God. We're gonna bring this to a nice boil. I'm gonna add in a tiny splash more of oat milk just to make it like extra creamy. Because I think the sauce will thicken up anyway with the udon starch. Oh my God, guys. Does this not look so good? I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. I'm not sure how much I'll need. Also, pepper. Oh my. Ah! Let's just kind of let it cook for a little bit and then we can eat. Yay! All right, so it's looking so good. Final touch, I'm gonna add in some green onion. So, oof, guys. Love me some green onion, okay? So we're gonna add that all over. And now we are ready to devour. All right, guys, I have taken all the photos. We are ready to devour. Ooh, look at that. All right, I'm just gonna turn this pretty much off. So a very minimal. Oh my gosh, look at that. Can you guys see how creamy this looks? I'm so bad at chopsticks. Why am I so bad? Why am I the worst? Why am I the worst Asian? Ooh, so creamy. Ooh, it's getting like foggy up in there. Okay, so creamy, guys. Ooh. You know, one thing I forgot that I'm gonna add, that I think might be really great, is seaweed. Let's see how this goes. So this is a nice kind of fusion style dish. Nice and spicy Korean flavors, but also nice creaminess. We also got the udon noodles. I mean, come on, guys. Whew. So there we have some vegan creamy udon. Kimchi. Vegan kimchi. Vegan creamy kimchi udon. Yay! Oh wow, so much flavor. It's so good. Whew. Guys, we have a winner. Whew. Let's have some of this smoked tofu concoction. Guys, this is like so good. So good. It's nice and spicy from the kimchi. It's so nice and creamy. I have pickled radish. Some people ask me if I pickle my own radish. And I don't. This is store-bought, but you can actually make your own. It's a bit different, but it's so good when you do make your own as well. Maybe I'll do a recipe video on that. Oh my god, it's so good. You can never go wrong with an udon and a creamy sauce and kimchi. Yeah. So good. By the way, guys, do you like my like 90s? I feel like this is like a 90s style hair. Like Baby Spice or something. I'm kind of loving this like hairstyle, you know? Nowadays, I like to always do like the whole hair by the face thing, you know? And then put the hair up. What do you think? Is it cheesy? Do I look like a wannabe Spice Girl? All right, let's eat another bite. We can talk. Guys, this whole coronavirus thing be going crazy. It's crazy. This is so ridiculously delicious. I want to hear your opinions about this coronavirus. Are we blowing it totally out of proportion? Because a part of me feels like we are. Don't get me wrong, of course it should be taken seriously just like anything else that could cause death, you know? But at the same time, you know, if the death rate is that low, which I think it is, I think it's like, what is it, 2%? And that's, I feel like that's also high compared to what it actually is. Like for instance, because a lot of people are not getting tested. So you have to take that into the equation. So for example, in Korea, which I think does the most number of tests, they even have like drive-thrus where they do testing for corona. So they're doing so many tests, and based on those numbers, let me actually see what the coronavirus numbers are in Korea right now. But they definitely have a lower death rate than the like average death rate, I think. Let's see. It says coronavirus in South Korea, how trace, test, and treat may be saving lives. So they're doing a pretty good job at like, I guess, containing the virus and also treating the virus, because it looks like they've kind of gotten it semi under control. So they have, yeah, they literally have like a drive-through system where they are testing for coronavirus. And apparently they're testing nearly 20,000 people every day. Okay, nearly 20,000 people every day they're testing for. And so yeah, the fatality rate for coronavirus is 0.7%. Globally, the World Health Organization has reported 3.4%, but scientists estimate that the death rate is lower because not all cases are reported. Exactly. So in Korea, where they are testing for people, and of course, because they're testing a lot, you know, if people have corona, they can obviously, you know, quarantine themselves faster. So that plays a big role. But if the death rate is now 0.7% among all cases, where it is being tested quite, you know, quite a lot, that probably means that's maybe potentially the death rate, like the more realistic death rate. I don't know. 0.7%, again, it's nothing to be completely nonchalant over, because obviously people are still dying. And especially if, you know, like older people, people that have health problems, like this is definitely something of concern. But also, does it require such shutdown? Maybe it does. I don't know. You know, maybe it does until we have a vaccine. I do wonder what the anti-vaxxers are thinking about all of this. Because I don't know, like what's the solution? Do we all just kind of like get it, and then whoever can't fight it off, they unfortunately have to suffer the consequences? I don't know. And what is the treatment even, you know? Is there even a treatment? Do you just have to wait it out? This is so good. So, I don't know, guys. Some people are saying it's like, it's pretty much the flu and we're freaking out for nothing. I mean, to be fair, I don't even get the flu shot, you know? I'm probably gonna start getting the flu shot, but I can't remember the last time I got a flu shot, you know? I know my parents get the flu shot, but I can't remember the last time I got a flu shot. So, again, like, should I be freaking out about this? But is it irrational for me to freak out about this, but not, you know, not the flu, you know? And I don't think I've ever seen such a global, like, freak out, ever. I'm trying to remember the last time I saw such a crazy global freak out over something, you know? But I mean, again, it's not to be taken lightly, obviously. It's definitely a cause of concern. I hope people are staying safe. I know that in some countries, the freak out is much bigger than others. Italy, whew, God, anyone in Italy, I don't even know what you're going through right now, but it sounds terrible. I feel like I'm more scared of the effect of the freak out than the virus itself, you know, for me and for, you know, again, I don't want anyone to get it, but a part of me is like, maybe I should just get it, you know, get it over with. But I heard that you can't even build immunity, so I don't know. It's just insane. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's pretty crazy. And yesterday, Donald Trump announced the ban on European flights, or ban on Europe, people from Europe. Why can't I talk? He basically announced the travel ban from Europe. Whew, that's a pretty... Wasn't he the one that was like, it's not a big deal? I feel like that's what he was saying before, but now apparently you're banning an entire continent. I don't know. I don't know, man. Again, people, stay safe. I don't know what to say. You know, I do feel like, again, the scary thing is that a lot of people might lose their jobs, or they, you know, they might suffer a lot financially. And that's really scary for a lot of people, you know? I mean, I guess lucky for us, this world is quite, you know, I guess we have the internet, you know, so a lot of people can work, you know, from home. But yeah, I don't know. It's funny because, like, there's people that are really paranoid, and then there's people that are like, it's just a flu. So everyone has like a different opinion on this. I can't go anywhere without hearing about it or talking about it. So yeah, I don't know. It's pretty crazy. It's so good. Here in Canada, I actually don't know how many cases there are in Canada. Let me check. So far in my province, like, we're pretty safe, but we've recently got a few cases. So it looks like Canada has reported more than 100 cases of coronavirus. Let's see. Ontario has 42 cases, BC has 46 cases, Quebec has 8, Alberta has 19. So, and New Brunswick has also confirmed its first case. So I guess I need to move to some other province where it hasn't been a case yet. To be fair, guys, Canada's a very big country, so we're all very, very spread apart. So you have to pretty much treat, I don't know, every province as its own country, basically, because, for example, Alberta is huge. For us to get to, so I live in Calgary, and for us to get to Edmonton, which is the nearest city, like big city, it takes us like a 3 to 4 hour drive, and that's in our province. And I know that in Europe, you can pretty much go to like another country with that kind of drive, you know? we're kind of lucky in that sense because of how big our country is. I also wonder how many cases there are in the US. So I feel like they're not testing a lot of people in the US because of the healthcare system. Should we talk about politics? I know a lot of my viewers are from the US. I would love to ask you what you think about your healthcare system. Do you believe in a private healthcare system, or do you believe that you want public healthcare? It's taking me a while to chew because of the smoked tofu. I personally believe that everyone should have a right to healthcare, no matter how much money they have, no matter what their income bracket is, no matter what sort of family they were born into. They should always have access to society's resources to help them through health problems. And I do believe that when we have a healthier population, it's an overall win for society in general. So it's not just for the individual. That's my personal take on healthcare. I do believe that, you know, as a society, we should be working together to provide everyone, if we can, to provide everyone with adequate healthcare, to keep them healthy, to keep them, you know. Yeah, that's what I believe. But let me know. Do you believe otherwise? Let me know why. I know a lot of people in the US that are against public healthcare. They like to say that the Canadian system is flawed, and like, don't get me wrong, like, I'm not saying this system is perfect, okay? There's definitely some flaws in the system, but overall, my experience, I mean, to be fair, I've never been like super sick. I pretty much like never go to the doctor. I try to avoid the doctor like the plague, okay? I just do not like going to the doctor. I just try to avoid appointments in general. I just don't like to make appointments. Oh my god, why am I out of focus? I don't like appointments. I don't like having to like book an appointment, go somewhere. I sound so like bratty. I'm like, I don't like appointments. But anyway, so I try to avoid going to the doctor. So I definitely do not take full advantage of living in a country where, you know, our healthcare is covered. But honestly, I would love, like, for me personally, if I could choose a system, I would love a full healthcare system. I actually think our system is not socialist enough. I don't believe that our system is, you know, covered enough, because there's certain things that aren't covered. Like, for example, prescription drugs are not covered. I don't think they're covered anyway. They're definitely less expensive than in the US. Like, I've heard that in the US, prescription drugs are really expensive. Correct me if I'm wrong. So they're definitely less expensive, but it's still like pretty expensive. If you don't have like the insurance to cover that, then it's gonna be pretty expensive if you need to buy some prescription drugs. So a lot of employers do still offer like a certain level of healthcare insurance, even though our basic healthcare is covered. So like, if I want to get a checkup, I'm not going to get charged, and I don't have any insurance. But if I got a checkup and they prescribed me something, then I would have to go and pay for that. And sometimes it's like affordable, sometimes it's not, just depending on what it is. Like, for example, I remember I got this like rash in the back of my neck a few years ago. So I like waited it out, as I usually would do, but it wouldn't go away. So I went to the doctor, got a checkup, and he basically just prescribed me like 2 ointments. So I went to go get it, and I think it was like $90, which I was like, whoa, like, I mean, again, thankfully I could afford it, but it was still pretty steep for like a cream. It was like a topical cream. Anyway, if it were up to me, I would like to have those kinds of, you know, things covered. Same with dental. Dental is privatized here and it's very expensive. I haven't gone to a dentist in 5 million years. Probably need to go, but homegirl is cheap, okay? Yeah, so if it was up to me, if I were the Prime Minister of Canada, I would want dental to be covered as well, because I think dental is also it's part of your health. If you don't have proper dental care, then you know, you probably can't eat properly and it impacts your entire well-being, right? So I feel like it shouldn't be separated like that. But I'm sure we do have programs where we can help those in need that actually can't afford dental care, but I'm not sure how good those programs are. I'm really not sure. What I do know is that dental care can be so expensive that a lot of people, I know this because I think my mom did this, a lot of people, Korean people, will need like a dental surgery or something. And instead of getting it here, they would actually fly back to Korea and get the surgery in Korea, because it is cheaper to fly back and get surgery in Korea and fly back to Canada than to get the surgery in Canada, because it can cost thousands upon thousands of dollars just to get a dental surgery. And how many people can afford that, right? And if you don't have it, you're probably like, you know, it's probably gonna cause a lot of problems. It's probably very painful. So that's, you know, a problem. And I personally think that should be fixed. And I personally think that should also be covered by the government, even if it means we pay a little bit more in tax. I'm happy to do that, but that's kind of my mentality. And I can't even imagine, even, you know, when I think about that dental system, I think that's really backwards. But I can't even imagine the entire healthcare system being like that, you know, where if you're not insured, even if you are insured, that's the thing. In Canada, of course, you can have insurance. So even if you have insurance for dental care, and you got some kind of, I don't know, you have to get like a root canal or something. Even if you have insurance, you would still probably have to fork out like thousands of dollars from your pocket. I just remember my friend, I think she had to get a root canal, and she was covered by her employer, but she still had to pay like thousands of dollars. So, you know, what is that? Like, what kind of a system are we running here? Anyway, that's my personal viewpoint. I believe in creating a society where we can at least have, you know, some of these basic needs covered. And yeah, that's my viewpoint. You know, if you want to buy fancy jewelry, like, go ahead, okay? You know, that kind of stuff, privatize it, don't care, do whatever you want. I'm not anti-capitalist, but when it comes to basic needs, I don't know. Can we have a little bit of decency, like human decency, to be like, okay, I know you can't afford this like heart surgery, but we'll give it to you anyway. I don't know. Obviously, it's more complicated than we think, but yeah. It's yummy till the last bite. Anyway, yeah, I'd love to know your thoughts on whether or not you believe healthcare should be universally available or not. I really can't understand the arguments against universal healthcare. I really just cannot understand, you know. I know we're all different, we all have different opinions, but we're all born in ways that we cannot control. And if we're born into a family that is in need and no one has health care, that's already setting me up for such a bad life, you know? I don't know if children are covered. I'm not really actually sure in the US. Maybe children are allowed to have health care. I don't know. Let me know, guys. I don't know. But yeah, I just can't imagine living in a world where I have to worry about bringing you know, myself to the doctor when I'm sick because I don't have money to pay. And let alone, like, let's also talk about how expensive it is over there because it's so corrupt. The whole system is so messed up. Anyways. So yeah. And even now with the coronavirus, I feel like we're seeing the impact of this privatized system. Let me actually Google this. I saw this the other day. Let's see. CNN article. Here's how the US healthcare system makes it harder to stop coronavirus. Everyone has gripes about the American healthcare system, but now that the US is facing a coronavirus pandemic, the flaws have far greater and even deadly repercussions. People in the US must contend with a fragmented health system where just going to get tested can mean hundreds or thousands of dollars in medical bills. See, that's insane, right? You know, US is the only developed nation without universal health care. Nearly 28 million non-elderly Americans, or 10.4%, were uninsured in 2018. This is an improvement from what it was before. The Affordable Care Act was passed in 2010. That year, 46 million non-elderly people, or 17.8%, lacked coverage. 17.8%. So the 10.4 is an improvement. And that's still crazy to me. Again, this isn't just about, you know, the less fortunate people being able to get coverage and get themselves tested. When it comes to something like the coronavirus, it impacts the entire society. So if you're not testing people, because let's be honest, if I were, you know, even if I had money, I would still, you know, not really want to go and get tested if I were not insured. Or so somebody that doesn't have insurance probably doesn't have much money, I assume. And for them to fork out hundreds of dollars is, you know, that's something crazy to ask for them, you know? A lot of these people, they don't have a lot of money. Of course, they're not going to go and test for something, especially if they're not having like severe symptoms. So they're not getting tested, and then they're probably going out and thinking everything's normal and then potentially spreading it to other people. And so it impacts everyone. It doesn't just impact the individual. And I think that's the one thing that I always think about, because I'm like, a lot of people think that they're just one person and they're independent, and none of us are independent, okay? We are not designed to be independent. We've never been independent. We will never be independent. We cannot survive independently. We survive as a society and a group and a species. We do not survive independently. It is impossible. At least that's not in our nature. We're not like robots or certain species that are like super independent. Like we need each other. So that's why these systems like drive me insane. Anyways, so that's that. That was a lot of talking, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. I hope you try it out. It was really delicious. It was delicious until the last bite, and it was so good. I hope you try it out. It's so good. I'm probably gonna be posting a blog post with the written recipe for this because I think I measured everything out, relatively speaking. So I will have a blog post written with this recipe if you guys are interested. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. Make sure you leave your thoughts down below on everything we've discussed. Thank you so much for subscribing, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!